It's going to be a great day, 1320 KLWN. So first of all, let me say hi. Good morning, Rick Mitchell. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, and I want to tell people why I was sort of playing that particular song this morning. How many children do you have?
7.
I have 7 and a couple adopted, right?
Yes.
And you do the amazing thing of homeschooling all 7 kids.
Yes, and my wife as well.
Well, of course. And we have to give a lot of credit to Christy because she really does make a lot of that happen. What was it that made you want to try that?
At first I was not very excited about the idea. I'm an educator. I have my master's degree in education, and so is Christy. She has a degree in education as well. And so we came about it from that approach, and eventually we just thought, we can do this at home for our kids, for our circumstances and situation right now. We thought we could do a little bit better at home.
There are a lot of other people that are doing that same kind of thing and doing their own education and their own curriculum, but you don't do it blindly. I mean, you check into what's available out there and what will apply toward a degree and be recognized by the state. So your children are exposed to curriculum.
Absolutely. Yeah, we wouldn't dare try this thing just blindly on our own. And another part of that, too, is we don't believe in isolating our kids. We believe in it and helping them, but not isolating them. And there's, I think, a stereotype. People believe that homeschoolers want to go hide out in the hills and be away from everybody and not have any interaction. And that's not us, and that's not the majority of homeschoolers. But homeschoolers homeschool for various reasons. And so we found, there's an organization here in Lawrence called Teach and Encore, and they do an outstanding job with the fine arts. So you can put your kids in band and drama and orchestra and jazz band and speech and debate and all kinds of wonderful programs. So they've got the fine arts covered, and that's good for our kids to interact. But then our thing was the sports is missing. We don't have a good varsity high school competitive outlet.
So what did you all decide to do to take care of that situation?
So we started our own. I was 15 years ago, I was a high school basketball coach and athletic director at a public school, and we got out of it for the family's sake because of time, and now we got back into it again because our kids needed it, and so many others do as well.
I love this. Is a real field of dreams story, folks, and when you build it, they will come. Happened out at Rick Mitchell's farm. What did you do with a couple of your fields, Rick?
We had 2 pastures that we brought in a big, huge bulldozer and bulldozed them down and leveled them off and filled in holes and brought in dirt and seed, and we now have 2 practice fields for our football teams out there.
How did you get other people involved with you?
There's tons of interest, tons of need out there because there is no real good fit for homeschoolers in this area. And so we just started spreading the word, and people are coming.
How do you get competitors, and how have you managed to put the teams together?
Well, that's a great question because you really can't, to do what we want to do, we don't want a rec league. We don't want that kind of thing. Those are good, but that's not what we needed for our kids and others. And so we went and talked with Kesha, the state high school athletic organization, and we are an approved school with them. So we play public schools, we play private schools, we play other home schools. So we've got quite an incredible schedule that we do.
And the reason that's important is because you want these young athletes to develop just like other young athletes in high school, so that they will also be looked at in case you have somebody that's outstanding that might want to go on and get scholarships.
Absolutely. That's really important. And like I say, some kids, a rec league would be fine. Of course, they don't offer them for high schools by that point. But a lot of kids, they need the competition. They need the atmosphere. They need the opportunity to really excel and do well. And so that's why we exist.
Okay, so you got 2 practice fields out at your place, and where do you all play your games?
Right now we play our games at Tonganoxie Middle School, and we practice in Lawrence at the Lawrence Community Center, and that's just until we get our building built. We're working on plans for that, for a football stadium and a nice athletic field house for basketball and volleyball and other sports.
When did you start building all this league, and because there had to be a lot of preparation and research into this before you got started?
Yep, thank goodness yes, I had the athletic director background, or we would have really had trouble. But we put it together last March is when we got off the ground, registered as a nonprofit organization with the IRS in the state of Kansas.
What's the name of the league?
Independence Homeschool Athletics Incorporated.
And what's the name of the team?
The IHS Lions. So,
I like the name.
Yeah, our goal is eventually to have the facilities and the teams that any homeschooler in the area that wants to play for us could do any sport that the public schools offer.
So what did you start with?
We started last year with 8-man football. Then we had boys basketball and cheerleading. And then this year we're going to expand to 5 sports and about 11 teams, including some junior high teams.
You have enough kids then?
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're growing all the time. In fact, I'm leaving here to go to a homeschool conference where we'll talk to more people about coming out and participating.
And coaches?
Coaches, we have, last year we had 4 coaches for the basketball team, and we have a 6-man coaching staff for our football team, which is phenomenal. We've got a guy that played offensive line, a guy that played defensive line, a guy that played receiver, a guy that played quarterback, a guy that played running back, a young kid from KU that's coming out just fresh out of high school, and we've got a guy that has officiated high school football for, over a dozen years. And so we've got a really good staff that I'm just very excited about for the football as well.
What kind of support do you all get, and what do you need as far as helping the homeschool kids have a league to play in?
Well, of course, money always comes to the top of that list. We're working on some things. We've got a development department that's working on that and putting some things together. We'll be announcing some fundraisers and things that we're going to be doing soon. Once those things are all organized, we'll come back and hopefully talk with you again. But yeah, we're always looking for money. We're looking for volunteer coaches. Our goal is, our mission statement is to provide competitive varsity sports for homeschoolers. And when we say provide, we don't just mean have it available and charge through the nose for parents to do that. Most homeschoolers have multiple kids, and so we try to keep our costs reasonable, and the only way we can do that is if we go out and get some support. We don't have the taxes like the public schools have, and so we've got to be creative and go out and find other ways of doing it.
Rick Mitchell this morning with IHS Lions football and basketball. What are the age groups that you're doing football and basketball for?
So we'll have junior high, both boys and girls for basketball, and junior high and high school and high school boys and girls for basketball, and then junior high and high school boys for football. We'll have volleyball, track, cross country. I'm missing something, but 5 sports and about 11 teams from junior high ages to high school.
And that's the goal?
Yep. Yeah, the goal is any sport that's offered at the public schools, we want to offer it for homeschoolers eventually. So.
I love that. Well, what's the difference for you? We've talked about sports, but I oftentimes think about the difference for kids that are out in the country and being homeschooled. And you're not really, because you're just right around the corner from Tongi, so you're not like out there in Dumbar Hills. That was an interesting conversation I was having with my son last night when we had talked to you. We had just called you from the movie, and we were going to loan you a movie, and we asked you if you had Blu-ray, and your response was, well, we got a DVD player, and I was like, we'll let you borrow this. But the thing that Michael said was, how do they get along without a Blu-ray player? And I thought, that's the difference. You have kids like mine who have grown up in Lawrence, and I'm not saying that all kids do this, but there are things that you guys do. I was like, Mike, they're outside learning how to ride a horse. They're outside doing the farming and the gardening, and mom's teaching them all different kinds of stuff. What are some of the things that are kind of ancillary to the actual curriculum of English and history and math that are, you could say, they're classes that your kids are learning from?
Yeah. Now, first, let me say we're not totally backwards. We do have a record player, and I'm just kidding.
A record player?
I'm teasing. My kids don't even know what a record player is. No, we do watch TV, and they love watching their movies. We just haven't got to Blu-ray yet. But no, we have a small farm. We have cows. Boys and the girls milk cows every morning and every afternoon. We have chickens. We have this. So the farm keeps us pretty busy. We're up pretty early in the morning working and doing that kind of stuff. And then the sports has really become, and it's not a thing we pushed, it's just a thing. My kids all love sports. They just really do. And so it's so fun because not only are we doing this program for our kids and for others, but our kids have grasped hold of it. And, we've got basketball players. That's probably the top sport. We've got football players. We've got some that don't care for basketball, but they love cheerleading or, all these different sports. And so between the sports and the farm and then the academics, we stay pretty busy. Well, and then also the teach and encore stuff that we do. Our kids were in a play with Lisa Masson at Encore. She's fabulous, and that was wonderful. We have John Gaskin at the Teach program that does speech and debate for some of our older kids. He's fabulous at that. And so we believe, getting out there, networking with lots of other people. Kids have the social environment as well, and we just kind of, each year we just put it together and mold it to our kids' needs.
And you're still working too, though.
Yeah.
You're an instructor.
Yep, I'm staying busy with that as well, and that's part of the reason we started doing homeschool too, is because I teach a lot of night classes, and I found that I was coming home from work in the day, and get home in the afternoon and get to see my kids when they got home, but it was always go get your chores done, get your homework done, and all right, see you later. And I thought that's no way to raise a family, and so we got creative and started thinking about it, and that was a big part of the reason why we decided to homeschool. Is I need to be with my kids other than hey, go and do your chores and do your homework and see you later, I'm out of here. So that was a big part of it as well.
And Christy, she really holds it down, doesn't she?
She does. She is amazing. She does a really, really good job.
And homeschooling, so she teaches as well and gets them through their chores and their classes?
Yep, so Christy does the younger kids, and then once they get to about junior high, I take over there, and our goal is that by the time they're in high school, they can teach themselves. Now, we don't totally turn a blind eye to that, but they can do some online courses, they can do some college courses, they can do, we're still very involved. We've got a son that is very talented with mechanics, and so we have a real good friend out in Tonganoxie, a really great man who's a mechanic, and so Juan goes twice a week for 4 hours, and he works with him, and this year he learned how to take apart anything on a car, and I'm told next year the curriculum is how to put anything back together on a car, and he's just amazing.
Good.
Yeah, he is great. He just went out and fixed my motorcycle that has not worked for 3 years. Not the one I rode in today, but the other one. He went out and fixed it. It's been sitting in the garage. I know nothing about that stuff. And he's like, Dad, if I can fix it, can I have it? And I was dumb enough to say yes. And so now I lost a motorcycle, but I gained a mechanic. So it was a good trade.
I think you won on that trade, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I do too. And
that's the van and the car and the tractor and everything else.
Now I got a riding buddy too. So
that's so
good.
Cool. Couple of as you were going through having family, you really believe in giving kids opportunities and opening up those opportunities to have new experiences. So that's another piece of this curriculum. You do the basics and make sure that they'll be able to graduate high school. They're going to be actually certified and graduated from high school.
Yep.
And be able to go to college, but they also have some other opportunities to learn.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love the mechanic idea, and I wonder, about certification for that.
Yep.
And that would be, boy, you could walk right out and be making money hand over fist right away.
That's the plan. Yeah, absolutely. Get them going.
Especially if it's something that they love. I think we really miss out on allowing our kids to grow sometimes into things that they love to do.
Yep.
And sometimes it's just because we're not with them enough to be able to see what it is that they take to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I encourage people. Rick, it's always a joy to have you with us. If people want to know more about the Homeschool Sports League, and again, the name of it is?
Independence Homeschool Athletics Incorporated, but IHS Sports is what we go by mostly.
IHS Sports. Is there a website?
There is, ihssports.org. And we're on Facebook, and we've got a ton of contact information. In fact, if people want to sign up, we do a monthly newsletter that comes out, and we'll tell them about all our stuff, our big fireworks thing we're going to do on Independence Day, all kinds of stuff that people can be involved in. Even if they're not doing sports, we do have activities where we're just trying to bring homeschoolers together and family, good, fun atmosphere all throughout the year. So,
is there a limit as to the area?
No, if you'll drive it, we'll be here. So.
If you drive it, if we build it, we'll invite everybody.
That's
Come
right.
on down.
The more the merrier. So.
Rick Mitchell this morning, 1320 KLWN. Again, you can find them online. You can find them on Facebook. Do we want to give out email or number or anything like that? Okay.
My email is Rick. There's no K in that. So just RIC @ihssports.org. Phone number is 785 888-760-3700. And then, of course, the website, ihssports.org.
Watch for the fundraisers coming up. Watch for the activities. Check them out on Facebook and on the web. And Rick, I hope we'll be talking to you again very soon. Give our best to the family.
Thank you very much, Kim.
Have a great day.
You too. Well,
831, 1320, KLWN. We'll be back with the venerable, the marvelous, the magnificent John Ross in just a minute. It's going to be a great day.